Hi, thanks for joining me for this Move More Easily Everyday session. In this video, I'm going to use a beanbag. You can also use a small ball or a pair of socks rolled up into a ball. If you don't have anything at all, don't worry, you can still do all the movements. This video is great at the beginning of the day as a joint mobilizer to get moving, anytime during the day when you feel stiff and achy, or as a warm-up before you're doing another activity or another video here in the studio. Keep in mind, we don't want to do too much. I want you to stop before you fatigue, and I want you to start small and increase the movements gradually as you feel comfortable. We're going to start with our beanbag doing our shoulder rotations. So we are going to start by coming down, behind, up and over and passing the beanbag to the other hand. Good. So what we're doing here is we're increasing the range of motion in our joints. We're generating heat, and when our joints are warmer, we move more freely, more easily, more comfortably. And when we feel comfortable moving, we're then more likely to do things that involve movement and enjoy those activities more. Good. So if you can make this movement bigger as you go, maybe get the arm a little closer to your ear. That is great. Good. Obviously keep breathing throughout. 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. And now going the other way, back, down and pass the beanbag over. Well done. When we move through a joint, we generate blood flow to the joint. And with that blood flow comes oxygen and nutrients. So that means the joint ends up healthier. So the other thing that we get when we get movement through the joints with exercises like these is we stimulate the production of synovial fluid, and that lubricates the joint. So your body says, hey, you're moving that joint. They're going to need it to be nicely lubricated, and it creates the synovial fluid for you. Great. One more each way. 1, 1. Super. Now into our bow and arrow. So pulling the beanbag back, reaching forwards here, pulling back here. Lovely. And switch over. Well done. So turning your head. Reaching forwards and pulling back at the same time. Well done. Keeping the beanbag at shoulder height. Good work. 3, 3, 2, 2. One more on each side. 1, 1. Good. Moving into our arm angels, up and pass around, up and pass around. Great. So you're passing the beanbag over above your head and then behind your bottom. If you can't reach behind your bottom, you can pass it in front of you here. That is fine. Good. So you can do a small movement like this, or a bigger one where you reach all the way up and all the way down, whatever feels comfortable to you. So we're about to move on to our hips, and in this session we're concentrating on the hips and the shoulders because they are the ball and socket joints, which are meant to move. So ball and socket joints are meant to move in lots of different directions, and we're meant to have lots of mobility through them. Brilliant. Well done. We're done with that beanbag. Moving on to the hips. We are going to do the rotations. So make sure you've got something to hold on to. Leg comes up, forwards and down. Good. Standing nice and strong on the other leg. The idea is that with these ball and socket joints, we do lots of movement. But if they are restricted, if they're stiff, if they're tight, and they can't do the movement that we need, then to get into the positions we need to during the day, the other joints start taking over. And so often what we'll find is that knee pain or ankle pain Let's do one more on this leg. Switch over to the other leg, forwards, out and down. What we often will find is that knee and ankle pain can be reduced by getting rid of restriction in the hips. So the more easily we can move through the hips, the less of the strain of that movement is being taken through the knees and the ankles. So that's why we are focusing on the hips and shoulders here. Keep going with this leg. So with the shoulders, for example, if we're not moving well through the shoulders, if they're restricted, then we might end up getting pain in our upper back because that's trying to do the movement that ideally our shoulders would do. Good. 2 more here. 2, 1. And now switch back to the other leg. We're coming out and up and in. So going the opposite direction. Still this kind of cycling movement. Well done. Excellent. Standing up nice and tall. This is quite hard work on the standing leg. And don't worry if you're doing a much smaller movement than me. That's absolutely fine. It shouldn't be uncomfortable. Should just be moving through that joint. Last one. Great. Switch to the other leg. Again, standing up tall, forwards, up and in. Good. Well done. Good. Don't worry if these feel different on one side from the other side. That's absolutely fine. It's normal because it's the mobilizers. We just do what we can on each side. 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to do a few hurdles. So we come up, out and down. Good. Out and down. So like we're stepping over a gate. Well done. Lovely. Keep the other hip pointing nicely forwards. Make sure to use your support. Now we're going to come up, in and down. Good. Same leg, up, in and down. If it's too much to stand on the one leg, then obviously you can switch legs. In and down. Well done. Good. 2 more. 2, 1. Switching over. Good. Come up to the front, out to the side and down. You may prefer to hold on the other side for this one. Great. Two more. 2, 1. And now coming back in. So starting out to the side and coming in. We have one more exercise after this. Good. Should be feeling everything warming up really nicely now. Great. 2 and 1. We're going to go into our small and tall. So hands on the sides of your thighs, but you can have one or both hands on the support if you need to. What we're doing here is start with a little hip hinge, push the bottom out behind, bring it forward. So like we're trying to knock the wall with our bottom. Chest stays open, chin stays up. And each time, just try and get your bottom a little closer to your heels. Great. It's never going to touch them. Don't worry about that. Keep the chest up, the chin up, pushing that bottom down, out and down towards the heels. 2, 1. Excellent. And just walk that out. Finish with a stretch. Push your palms down, out in front, up and down to the sides. Well done. Thank you so much for joining me for this Move More Easily Everyday session. Take care. Have a wonderful day.